Two Sheds Gabby here. I just picked up my box of pennies for today, and I poured them all out, and it looks like I must be at the end of the paper roll because a bunch of them are solid white. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I haven't busted any of them open yet. I do see that they're not all new ones, so I've got a hunt to go through, and I'm gonna get started. And I hope I find some good stuff tonight. If you missed my most recent video, I did find some proof presidential dollar coins that were pretty cool. I've never found one of these before. And I'm just getting ready to put them away, and I thought I'd go ahead and just show them real fast. I found wheat penny. It's a 1945, I think. It almost came in. Yeah, 45 Philadelphia. And then the mystery coin here. I don't know. Is it a slug? I don't know what that is. Maybe the other side will reveal. I have no idea. Maybe it's just one chunk of metal that fills up this whole roll. There's a penny on that side. Anyway, that's funny. Here's that wheat penny ender, a 1945 Philadelphia. That's a good way to start. I'm hoping to do better with this box than the last one. My last box, I got 4 wheat pennies and like 2.5 pounds of copper, 1 Canadian copper. Just not, not as good as I'm used to getting. I hope that I haven't reached the point where that's going to be average. Hope we're not there yet. We have entered into our home we are caregivers to a family member in hospice care, and he just showed up yesterday after the hospital visit he was having, and last night we had a representative of the hospice come and talk to us till about 11. And then today we had the nurse, the social worker, and the chaplain all come today, and we're pretty talked out. But I do want to get to these pennies, and so I'll find things to say. It's an experience, I tell you. There's a whole lot that this hospice company does. I'll have to say I'm pretty impressed. They really seem like they do a good job helping the person, that's facing the end stages of life, and to do the best they can to see that they're comfortable. And I'm pretty pleased with that. Oh, that's nice looking. He's got a wart on his neck. The stairs aren't perfect. I'm gonna let this one go. This one will just go into the hoard. This is the coin that was at the end of that roll. I guess it's just covered in something. I'll try to clean it up a little bit just for the fun of it and see what I've got. I put a little cleaner on it and a toothbrush and scraped at it a little, and I can see that it's a shield penny, and therefore I don't care about it anymore. I was curious what it was, and now I don't care. Well, this is cool. This is the second roll and my second wheat penny. I wouldn't mind starting that up again. 1940D. Oh, come on. There you go. So when I'm out running around, picking up coins, just running errands, whatever, sometimes I listen to music, oldies or something, classic rock. But sometimes I like to listen to radio evangelist. There's a few of them I like to hear. I don't always agree with everything they have to say, but I like to hear the lessons, and a lot of times they have good points that I enjoy. But anyway, today there's a fellow named Greg Laurie. He's a good speaker. He has good points frequently, and he was telling the story of Joseph being sold and then taken to Egypt, and the whole ordeal. And finally, under the king's second in command, his brothers come. What's going on there? And they don't recognize Joseph, but Joseph recognizes them. And Greg Laurie, he says, they weren't expecting to see him because they thought he was dead, for one thing. But they said, by this time he had been living in Egypt. Said he looked like an Egyptian to them. He walked like an Egyptian. Everybody laughed. This is the 7th roll, yeah, and the 3rd wheat penny, so that's going pretty good. 1955D, wheat number 3, 82. So I'll pull it up and show you here. I was going through some old pictures, and I found a teenage picture of me and a friend back, I don't know, I was 17, maybe 16, 17. And I was playing a game. I was trying to remember. That was a fun old game. I really enjoyed it. It was just a 2-person game. But I couldn't remember the name of it, so I just got on, ho, ho, ho. Another wheat penny. Cool, there's number 4. Wheatie number 4. So I just started looking up old games, and I found it, and it's called Crossfire. Do any of y'all remember this game here? Pretty fun. The things we used to do before we had computers. We actually had a good time. We actually went outside and played pitch and threw the football to each other and things like that. We got out in the snow and played. And roamed the streets all hours of the night. I lived on a street that wasn't real busy, and we would pee on the street and try to write our name or something. Well, a few rolls later, and here is Canadian copper penny number 2, 1983, another 12-sided. Hopefully I'll find one a little bit older than that as well tonight. Copper's been fair. This is like the 16th roll, 1942, not in great shape. Wheat penny number 5. That's pretty good. I've been reading several articles that more and more people are starting to hoard copper pennies with the rise of copper. And according to the articles, many of them think that it won't be long before they'll start being able to melt them down for just the copper value. I don't think that. I think it'll be a good long while, but I think it's still worth keeping them anyway, for other reasons. I'll talk about it other times. Do you see that line running through the coin? Do you think that's a die error? I think it is. I don't think that's a scratch. I think that's a die error. That's kind of cool. I'll set this one aside for sure. That's pretty neat. One roll left to go in the first half, and here is wheat penny number 6, 1952D. Pretty cool. It's going pretty good so far, I guess. So I'm not a huge fan of the 80s music. I guess my favorite was like the 60s and early 70s. I like lots of other musics, but those are my favorites. And there's a handful of 80s songs I guess I like, but there's this one, It wasn't a huge hit. Hey, 2009, that's the second one. And I probably should hear it like once every 8 or 10 years. But it seems like every other week I turn on the radio and there it is. Motor in. I'm just like, no, you gotta be kidding again. Sister Christian, whatever, however it goes, I don't know. I hear it all the time. It's like, why do I keep hearing this song? I tell my wife about it, she laughs. Motor in. First row in the second half, and here is my third 12-sided Canadian copper, 1994. So years ago, a couple years after the high school years, in high school there was this girl, a year or two younger than me, I think, and I thought she was real cute and all that, but I never really got to know her. And then, like I said, it was a couple years after high school. I was driving down the road, and I saw this girl walking down the road, and I pulled over and asked her if she needed a ride, and she recognized me. We never really knew each other, but she recognized my face from school, and she agreed. I gave her a ride, and I took that opportunity to ask her out, and she agreed. How about that? And the day that I went and picked her up, her mom came to the door and let me in. And she started feeding me, and then she brought me a cold beer, which I did consume back in those days. That's been a long time. Mind you, the drinking age in that state was 21, and I was not 21, but that didn't matter. Anyway, after asking me questions, people ask questions when they want to take their daughters out, so I wasn't too all upset about that. And after a little bit, she started speaking in her home language. They were German, and she started speaking German to this young lady I was about to take out, and I could tell she was talking about me. I mean, how hard is it to figure that out? And so anyway, we eventually leave, and we're out. I don't even know what we did. I can't tell you. But at some point, I said, "What was your mom saying?" She says, "Oh, she's just chit-chatting." I'm like, "No, I know better than that. She was talking about me. What was she saying?" And she just kept trying to get around this subject. I said, "Listen, we're not going to go any further on this date if you don't tell me what she was saying. I want to know." And finally she said, "Mom said you're going to make a good husband." I never went out with her again. That's the sixth row in the second half I'm getting ready to go through. There's my wheat pennies and my Canadian, and that one that may have a die thing. A couple 2009s. But here's what's missing right there. Haven't had a dime for a while. When I started, I went back and counted. I was going to want to see how many I'm going to get this year, and they quit. Maybe we'll see one yet. Look at this coin I just found. It's a 1973. Is that like Kennedy or Barney Rubble? Maybe it's Johnny Quest. I don't know for sure, but it's pretty cool. I like finding these things on my pennies. I'll put it with my other things. Most of the things that I find are states that are imprinted on the coin. This one's Johnny Quest. Well, here's me a Canadian copper penny that's not one of the 12-sided. It's going to be older. 1965. Considerably older. Cool. finally, man, this is the 16th roll into the second half, and I finally found another wheat penny. This is number 7. 1947 Philly. Well, it's a lot better than the last time, I'll have to admit. So, back when we were living in North Carolina, we had a little farm there. It's like a little over 8 acres. And look at that. Check that one. Number 8. Well, that's cool. Ooh, it's a little older. 1937. Nice. Number 8. Anyway, the kids were teenagers. And we were, we're Christian family. And they'd been, I don't know, I guess doing some, getting on the internet, talking to different people and stuff. But anyway, there was kids would come to our place and hang out for the weekend. And we'd play volleyball and stuff. And there was these 2 boys that came. We had foster girls and my daughter. So these 2 brothers came a couple of times. And they were nice boys for the most part. And there was this game that we played a lot called Hand and Foot. And while we would play it, we would play oldies music. We had a big list and a bunch of CDs and all this stuff anyway. And this one song came on by the Monkees, an old song. And after it was over, I asked the older of the 2 brothers, I said, did you catch any of the lyrics in that? He said, no, what do you mean? And I said, well, the lyrics say, girl, I don't want to fight. I'm a little bit wrong and you're a little bit right. And he goes, yeah? And I said, well, you know what he's saying there? He goes, what's that? He goes, he's saying he's really a whole lot right. And he thought about that for a second. He busted out laughing so hard. And over the years, we'd write back to each other every now and then, and I'd just say, I'm a little bit wrong. He would just write back LOL, just laughing. Just silly, I guess. It was a fun moment. Come on, Weedy. $82. Golly, just 5 rolls to go, and I am done with this box. I sure hope I can get another couple of wheat pennies, and then I could hit my 10. When we were living in central Indiana, there's this young man. He's a good fella. I think he's in his 30s now. Probably in his 20s when I met him. He went to church where we were going up there in Indiana. That was a 2009, third one of those. Anyway, this guy was raised by a single mom, sweet lady, but she struggled, keeping ends meet and was busy. He had a sister, the 3 of them, just getting by, and there's things he just didn't learn as a teenager that he should have learned. But one day he was out with some friends. I just laugh so hard when I think about this. And they were out in these woods just messing around. He had a little hatchet. He started cutting down this tree, And this man comes along and goes, What do you think you're doing? He goes, I'm just cutting down this tree. He goes, you have no right to cut down my tree. Did I say you could cut down my tree? And he looked at the man and goes, I didn't know people owned woods. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's so funny. Oh. One day, I saw him at church, and just being silly, I said, hey, mister, how's your sister? And I just started cracking up laughing. And he goes, what are you laughing at? I said, oh, it's just kind of an inside joke. It's just silly. He goes, tell me. And I said, it's just goofy. It's just a little thing that I think it's funny, but it's silly. And so he pressed me, so I finally told him. When I was a kid, I guess, I wasn't 16 yet. My brother, older brother, would get National Lampoon magazines, and I would go through them and look at them. 82. And this one particular magazine, I came across a cartoon. The little cartoons are like in 4 squares type cartoon. And it was these 2 cactuses, out in the desert. And the next picture, you could see a cowboy coming along on a horse in a distance. And the smaller cactus said to the bigger cactus, he goes, "Come on, Dad, let me say it this time. Please, Dad, come on, Dad, come on." And then the next picture, the cowboy was a little bit closer. And the little cactus was, "Come on, Dad, let me say it this time. Please, come on, Dad." And then the fourth one, the cowboy was right up on him. And apparently the dad had said okay. And the little cacti yells out, "Hey, mister, how's your sister?" I just thought that was hilarious. And I know it's silly, but I have said that to people ever since. "Hey, mister, how's your sister?" There's a Canadian, 1980. So I've got the 3 Canadian coppers of the different weights. There's the 53 to 79, the 80 and 81, and the 82 through 96. Anyway, I guess he got enough of a kick out of it that every so many, this is several years ago this happened, but every so many months will go by and I'll get a text and it's from him and it says, "Hey, mister, how's your sister?" In fact, I think I have one that I got recently, and I will try to take a snapshot of it and show you. I actually stopped my coin search a little bit ago, and I got online and I looked up National Lampoon cartoons, and I went through page after page after page, hoping to find it, but I never came across it. I've been sitting there laughing. I hope I haven't missed anything. Do you see it? 2 rows to go after this row, and down here at the bottom, I have found my dime. How about that? How cool. Let me see here. That is number 15 on the year. Phew, that's a rough one. Number 15. Last roll, about halfway through, and I found another Canadian. 1970. Like I said, it's about halfway through, and I'd already found 4 1982s up to that point. There's an 83. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have a scale on. There's another one. There's another one. They don't look copper at all, though, do they? Not even. We're almost finished. Looks like I'm going to end up with 8 Wheaties, which is better than 4. And about a half a dozen Canadian coppers, which is better than 1. That's what I got in the last box. That's it. Let me weigh these. Well, I got a few 82s to weigh. And then I'll see how much I got in today's copper. I'm going to say that I'm just shy of 3 pounds. That's just my predicament. Prediction. I guess it's my predicament too. Well, here we go. Moment of truth. Yep. 214. Just a hair off. I thought I was. I just felt it. I had a bunch of rolls that had the 12 or 13, but man, I had quite a few rolls that have like 4 too. So, anyway, that's not too bad. It's close to 3 pounds. Close to 10 wheat pennies. I had fun. I hope you did too. I'm going to add these to my other box here. Oh, we'll see what we've got. Hold on. All right, I added today's copper to this box. I have 90 pounds down there plus this. Ooh. 9+ pounds. When this one hits 15, we'll fill it up, and then we'll be at 105. That is it. I'm going to call it a night. It's bedtime for me. We'll see you guys later.